Hey guys, it's Drew here. Quick video blog. I made a video the other day and I followed it up with a post on my Facebook page about, Donald Trump's ban on Muslim immigration at this time. And you know what? Although I disagree with his ban, I understand that he's doing it from a place of where he wants to take care of the country. There's a lot of people out there that they want so badly for Donald Trump or people like him, the rich white man profile. They want so badly for this guy to be identified and defined by bigotry and racism. But that's not really Donald Trump's legacy. I mean, his legacy is not defined by bigotry or racism. His legacy is defined by what he's done, the projects that he's accomplished, that think big and accomplish things that, people say that he can't do. So in any case, although I disagree with this one policy of his, I still understand where it's coming from. I don't agree with the comparisons to Hitler, and I think that he is sometimes a little over the top. But we're also facing a national security crisis, and Obama's politically correct method of dealing with it hasn't yielded great results. So somebody told me that, well, Donald Trump is just rising in the polls because he gives racists and bigots a voice, and they're excited about going back to the good old days. And I just have to say that is the most ignorant thing I've ever heard. Okay, first of all, if you look at results alone, not rhetoric, not symbolism, not speeches, but results alone, racism has exploded under President Obama, which is very telling. And if you don't want to hold him responsible for it, who else are you going to hold responsible for it? I mean, President Obama is the head manager of the governing body that controls this country, supposedly, right? He presides over this society. He has a duty to maintain the peace. He has a duty to maintain the consistency and the integrity of the melting pot. He has a duty to do that. So when race relations get worse under Obama, you can't all of a sudden move the responsibility off him. He's still responsible because of his position. He's still responsible. Did he cause it? I don't know if he caused it. I don't know if he's the cause of it, but he is responsible for it. He is responsible. He's in charge of the outcome because he's the head of the governing body. And that's just what it is. I think that his administration's reaction to a lot of racial injustices that have always happened throughout the country, but his reaction to it, his administration's reaction to it, has caused a rift between people of different religions and races. I think that they add fuel to the fire. They don't know how to properly operate. Well, they do know, they do know what they're doing, and they're purposely doing it. So in any case, while making this assertion, somebody said to me, you need to look in the mirror. Well, this is how I imagine them saying it, but they said it online. You need to look in the mirror because Donald Trump and his supporters, or, the Republican Party, isn't looking out for you. Basically, the guy was saying that the Republican Party and people like Donald Trump aren't looking out for black people. And you know what my response to that is? I don't care. I don't approach politics, voting, or making political support based on color. Okay? And the fact that there's a political establishment that feels entitled to the vote or the support of people of color, that is the offensive thing. The fact that the liberal, leftist, Democrat establishment feels entitled to my vote just because of my skin color is the epitome of racism. That's the epitome of prejudice. It's the epitome of discrimination. It's basically degrading me as an autonomous, individual, human being capable of rational thought, and saying that because my skin is a certain color, I have to think a certain way. And I have to subscribe to the politicians that are advertised to my demographic. And then they countered back, well, if you think that we're voting based on color, why don't we support Ben Carson? Because I know why you don't support Ben Carson. You don't support Ben Carson because he doesn't fit your definition, or he doesn't fit the liberal media's definition of what a black man should be like. He's a neurosurgeon. He came up and he doesn't support policies that the liberal, establishment supports. So you don't like Ben Carson. In any case, my response to this whole thing is just, it's bullshit, okay? I think in 2015, if you're basing your political support on the color of your skin, you are not as enlightened as you think you are. You are exactly where parts of the government want you to be. You are exactly where parts of the media want you to be. They want you to make decisions based on race. Why do you think they put so much of this propaganda out there to divide and mislead the public? Because they know that some of you are insecure about these issues and they want to tap into your emotional response. My response to politics is logical, okay? I support Donald Trump based on macroeconomics. I support him based on fiscal policy, trade policy, his rally against corporate inversions. But you know what? Those talking points are not going to engage a large percentage of society, because a large percentage of society is not as logical and is not as thoughtful and is not as methodical as I am, or people like me, or people like us, if you're watching this video and you think like me. So, in order for him to round out his base, Donald Trump has to appeal to radicals. He's got to appeal to the bigots. He's got to appeal to the racists. I understand perfectly well what he's doing. Do I agree with the morals of it? No. But in the arena of politics, it's a dirty game. I mean, if you're going to play politics, you got to be prepared to play dirty. Obama played dirty. I'm sure people before him played dirty. It's just what it is. So Donald Trump is playing dirty and he's playing to win. And that's just what I see it as. I don't see it as anything else. But some people really think that this is the uprising and the mobility of racists and bigots, and they think that they found the voice in Donald Trump, and that's not necessarily true. Donald Trump is not just going to get in and all of a sudden black people, every year liberals use this rhetoric where they think black people will be, they act like black people will be working on plantations if you elect a Republican. It's not true. It's not true, okay? My parents and people like my parents who immigrated from other countries have done very well under Republican presidents and Democrat presidents of the past. So you can't say that the GOP blanketly does not do or does not serve the black community or does not serve people who are black. You can't do that. It just doesn't make any logical sense. So there's nothing that annoys me more than people who think they are smarter than me and think they're more well-rounded than me because all they know is racial propaganda, okay?